Thank you for coming to the 125th installation of the Greater Boston Real Estate Board. My name is Greg Vassell, and I'm the CEO of the organization, and I'd like to thank you. I'd like to thank the folks here that are members, and I'd like to thank those that aren't. I'd like to have them consider potentially being members of the Greater Boston Real Estate Board. We have a long and rich history. We've been in existence since 1889. We were formed through an act of the Massachusetts General Court through the legislature, and we've grown to have 5 divisions. We represent commercial and residential interests, both in brokerage, development, management, and ownership. Before we get on with tonight's presentation, I'd like to just recognize a few of our past and distinguished chairs of the board that are either here or have come through during the course of the evening. Joseph Delaney, 1988 Chairman of the Board. Nora Moran, 1990. Dana Pope, 1993. Jerry Rappaport, Jr., 1997. Jack Spur, 1998. David Waluka, 1999. Larry Curtis, 2006. Bill McLaughlin, 2008. Eleanor White, just back from Norway, 2009. Tom O'Brien, 2010. James Canfield, 2011. And our esteemed 2013 chair, Rob Brierly. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our first speaker, who will induct Gordon Pulsifer in as the 2014 chairman. Larry Curtis is somebody that has given of himself, his time, his financial resources, and just about everything you could imagine to the Greater Boston Real Estate Board. It's a great pleasure for me to introduce the 2006 chairman, Larry Curtis.
Thanks, Greg. Well, Gordon and I used to work together, side by side, desk by desk, over a many-year period. Before Gordon was married to Ann Ellen also used to work in the office. So here's to office romances. So why become involved in this organization? As Greg mentioned, some are not members, but most of us here are. And those that are know it's about advocacy, about education, about networking. It's about giving back, and it's about some things that don't make money but feel good. GBREB works, for example, with high school students, exposing them to careers in real estate. We had the pleasure at our office a year or so ago of hosting 50 or so high school students coming by our office to kind of give them a feel of what the real estate business would be like. None of them went into it. Maybe that's... We've supported a college program. I think, Greg, it's, 55 students? College scholarships. For those that were at an event with GBREB last year, one homeless individual, young homeless woman who's now in a college career doing well and well on her path to great success, like all of us in this room have had the great fortune of having. 5 divisions, unique among real estate organizations nationwide. BOMA, CBA, GBAR, REFA, my favorite name, and RHA. All of us have some involvement in all of those. And most cities, those are siloed. They don't interact with each other. But the GBREB board is what brings it all together. It brings common interest and common good to the forefront. As Greg mentioned, the organization's been around 125 years, a period when there were no phones. Think about it. Maybe even no electricity. Certainly no computers. Just just relationships, pen and paper. Some people still do business that way. Real estate people, business people, people of the community. That's what GBREB's all about, people of the community. Some names have been around for generations. Names of today like Drucker, Dolbin, Beal have been members of this great real estate community for multiple generations. Maybe someday Gordon, the Pulsifer family or the Curtis family will have a similar, with your two sons here tonight, will have a similar seat at the table. We all work together to build a better community. We're builders of homes for sure, those of us in the housing business, builders of office buildings for those in the office, but also builders of friendships among coworkers. And for me, one of the great pleasures of introducing Gordon as the chair and inducting him is the most important thing in this career of ours, is building friendships for life. And I count Gordon, and I think hopefully, Gordon, you count me among friends for life, for people that will do anything for anyone. And that's something that Gordon represents for me. So we're all builders. We're builders of a greater community. And after all, we are the Greater Boston Real Estate Board. So, Gordon, if you can come up, we could install you as chairman. You ready?
I'm ready.
The chair's oath. Okay. Gordon Pulsifer, do you solemnly and sincerely promise that you will administer the office of chair to the best of your ability and judgment, to be fair, honest, patient, and just in the way that the founders in 1889 intended, while promoting and protecting the interests of the Greater Boston Real Estate Board?
I do.
Gordon Pulsifer, do you pledge to remain a part of this organization even after your service as chair is complete, building a legacy for those who's come after you in this organization and in the real estate profession?
I do.
Okay, congratulations. Your response is complete.
Thank you. Thank you, Larry. And you're right, we'll always be great friends. And thank you for all you've done to the Greater Boston Real Estate Board and your commitment to the board. Also, you are a role model in our industry for all of us in the production of housing. So thank you. Good evening and welcome. I am truly honored this evening to serve as the 125th chairman of the board this coming year, especially in light of we're celebrating our 125th. I also want to welcome our past leadership here. Very nice to see you all, and thank you for coming. At this time, I want to introduce our board this year, our officers and our division presidents. So, as I say your name, if you could please stand. To my right, our chairman-elect, Rich Beal. Rich is the president of Perry Brokerage. To his right, Kristen Blount, our treasurer. Kristen is the senior vice president and partner at Colliers International. Next is Rick Henkin. I can't call you Rich. Clerk and assistant treasurer. Rick is the president of Shockett Companies. To my left, Rich Page, BOMA president, director of facilities management and operations for Blue Cross Blue Shield. To his left, Neil Schneider, ZBA president. Neil is executive vice president and partner with McCall & Elmy. To his left, Mike DeMilla, GBAR president. Mike is the president of Charles Gate Realty Group. To his left, John O'Neill, our REFA president. John is the partner with Holland & Knight. And finally, Joe McPhee, our RHA president. Joe is the Director of Operations for the Boston Land Company. Please stand up, everyone, and raise your right hands. Officers and division presidents, I want to read the officer's oath. Ready? They look ready. In the positions to which you have been elected, you assume responsibility of the Greater Boston Real Estate Board leadership, which was founded by your predecessors in 1889. By ascending to this position, you bear the responsibility to preserve and protect this organization. Your actions and decisions must be guided by a deep, abiding concern for the welfare of your members, the advancement of issues important to the real estate industry, and a concern for the interests of the public and Greater Boston community. You, the 2014 officers, shall bear the privilege of service of your peers and tremendous satisfaction that comes through the investment of your time and the talent in the lives of others. To all officers and division presidents, do you solemnly swear that you will administer the office to which you have been elected to the best of your ability and judgment, in conformance with all governing rules of the organization, in honesty, justice, fair play, and endeavor to act in the best interest of the Greater Boston Real Estate Board, preserving the trust which has been bestowed upon you by the founders in 1889 and carried forth to this day? At this time, I want to call Rob Riley to the podium. Rob is our retiring chairman. He's been waiting for this day for actually 8 years.
Happiest man in the room.
Rob, I want to thank you for your service.
Thank you.
You've set a great example for us all. You made sure the voices and concerns of the members of GBREB have been heard. We had some difficult times last year. We fought some tough battles, you and I, and I'm going to miss you. And that part of the oath that says you have to stick around, you know, Larry said that. And so looking forward to having you around. And I know you're going to chair the PAC for GBREB this year, and we look forward to that.
Great.
So at this time, I want to present you some gifts. Greg, oh, right here.
The official.
The official. Give us.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And you don't have to open it if you don't want to rub.
Thank you.
It's lingerie. It's lingerie, so if you want to.
Rob, if you want to take it out, you're done. It's okay.
That's all right.
And Greg has one more plaque.
Oh, look at that. Having a ride. Very nice.
On the sleeve.
There you go.
It says chairman of the board.
Oh, thank you. I'll wear it with honor.
So when you run around the house, the kids will know who's boss.
Yeah, my wife.
Yankee Stadium.
Oh, thank you.
Very nice.
Very nice.
And that sort of captures your moments.
So good looking people.
Yep, that's it.
Well, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody for your support over the years. As Gordon had indicated, it has been a long road between coming up through the BOMA officer ranks as well as coming up through the GBREB officer ranks. I am very happy that the term is over, not because of the fact that I'm not going to be involved, because I will continue to be involved, but I know that GBREB is in terrific hands with Gordon and the rest of the executive committee that's been elected tonight. So I just want to thank everybody. I'd love to thank the GBREB staff, Greg, Trish, Tom, the two Johns, Adrian, who am I forgetting here? Kathy as well. Terrific job. They make everything in the entire GBREB staff, make everything so seamless and really easy for us as officers within the organization to do our job. I'd also like to thank the officers who worked with me this past year, as well as each of the divisional presidents that we had this past year. We had Sue McDonough from GBAR, Lynn Bora from RHA, Michael Hussey from REFA, John Sullivan from BOMA, and John Boyle from CBA. We had a terrific year, really finished out high on top. Membership was up, so very proud of that. And I'd also like to wish our new division presidents the best of luck. I know that you guys are going to lead your division to success this year, and I think some of you will probably eventually slide over and jump to that side of the table. So thank you very much. I appreciate it, and Godspeed, everybody.
Thank you, Rob. We're going to miss you, and you're officially retired. There are
Pack raising now?
well, you know, you can't take cash contributions, even though that's your role. I want to thank everyone coming out this evening to witness the 125th installation of the Board of Directors of the Greater Boston Real Estate Board. As you've heard some history here already tonight. This organization is very special and has a long and distinguished history. I know there's many of you here tonight that may not know a lot about the Greater Boston Real Estate Board, but I want everyone to leave knowing some things. And so I'd like to share a few thoughts with you. The Greater Boston Real Estate Board is the oldest trade association in the country. Just steps from here at the corner of Milk and Washington Streets in March of 1889, Frederick Vaux established the Real Estate Exchange Board. This was formed with a vision of assembling a group of people that had interest in real estate, and the original initial membership was approximately 100 individuals. For decades, the Board of Directors was made up of owners, trustees, builders, appraisers, bankers, lawyers, and brokers. Early board members included people like Evan Jordan, head of the retailer Jordan Marsh, Henry Whitney, responsible for the first electric trolley here in Boston, and John Quincy Adams, a descendant of the Adams family. As you can see, the board membership consisted of accomplished professionals from the real estate industry with a broad range of skills that were also civic-minded, qualities which are still at the core of our membership today. The Real Estate Exchange Board provided a legal place for holding auctions, sales. In the early days, many of the first members were auctioneers. The exchange would issue periodic schedule of commissions for various real estate transactions that were widely accepted in the public here in Boston. They also established an arbitration committee in 1890 to settle disputes amongst its members. The dispute resolution service is still in existence today here at GBREB for its residential and commercial members. Through the history, our name has changed 3 times, first in 1917 to the Boston Real Estate Exchange, then again in 1944 to the Boston Real Estate Board, and finally in 1959 to the Greater Boston Real Estate Board, as the influence of the organization had spread to eastern Massachusetts. Past records of the Board of Directors indicate that the exchange had always taken an active interest in the affairs affecting the city and state, such as new zoning code, height limitations for new buildings, tax rates, street widenings, education, and city planning. This is not unlike our current government affairs today here at GBREB. It was said in 1914 by the Sunday Post about the exchange, and I quote, "the most influential real estate organization in the country." In more recent years, GBREB has been a leader on major issues such as fighting transfer taxes, defeating rent control, advocating for the affordable housing in 40B, trying to preserve affordability of expiring government and subsidized housing, and working with battered women's groups to support victim tenant-friendly legislation on domestic violence. GBREB is an active and aggressive advocate, but also is often the first party willing to listen, negotiate, and reach a common-sense solution. The Greater Boston Real Estate Board has undergone many changes over the years. However, after 125 years of active service, it still provides immeasurable value to its members. Today, as you've heard previously, we have 5 divisions with over 8,000 members. The strength of GBREB today is a direct result of all its professional members that represent all parts of the real estate industry. It is our combined talent that produces extraordinary results for our associations. Here at GBREB, our members participate in many committees and educational programs throughout the year. Last year alone, we had in excess of 175 courses, and over 7,500 members attended. My plan moving forward is to continue to strengthen these educational programs with a focus on current and relevant course information. Through the years, GBREB has proven to not only be a trade association, but also community-minded. Last year, our 5 divisions contributed $250,000 to local charities, and our goal this year is to match or exceed these amounts. In addition, we will once again continue to raise monies for our scholarship program, which was launched in 2011 under the leadership of Jim Canfield. It's vital for GBREB to continue to give back to the community, and there is no better way to do that than through the education of our youth. To date, GBREB has raised in excess of $400,000, and as of this spring, we will have assisted 75 students to attend colleges of their dreams. This scholarship is awarded based on academic excellence and financial need. It is specifically designed to be the last dollar in, so that the student isn't penalized when applying for financial aid because they receive money from the GBREB Foundation. The GBREB Scholarship Program is available to students in 54 cities and towns in the Boston area. In 2014, Greater Boston Real Estate Board's mission remains unchanged. We provide education, philanthropy, social networking opportunities, and advocate for real estate professionals across the industry. As we celebrate our 125th year, it is important to also look to the future. There are many exciting changes here in Boston. I am very optimistic that our members will once again have a seat at the table to work with our new Mayor, Marty Walsh, and his administration. It is my intention to make sure that GBREB takes full advantage of this opportunity. It is very important to have GBREB to be the leader in government initiatives and legislative action. We have been recently asked by the Housing Transition Team for the Mayor. Greg Vassell has accepted that invitation on behalf of GBREB and has begun serving on this committee. I anticipate and will encourage the Mayor to continue to ask for our participation. We would like to partner with the Walsh administration and build a better Boston. As I stand here today and speak for this organization, many of us at GBREB leadership feel that we have some unfinished business from last year. We have spoken to Mayor Walsh, and he has shown a willingness to listen to us on these 2 laws. The first law is the Energy Scoring Ordinance, which was passed last May. For those who may not be familiar with this ordinance, it requires condominiums, apartments, commercial buildings over 35,000 feet to be forced publicly to disclose their electric and water usage. A building not meeting certain standards would undergo expensive energy studies every 5 years, and if the owners fail to comply, they will be penalized at $200 per day. GBREB commissioned a joint study with Harvard University environmental economist Robert Stavins, reviewing similar energy ordinances across the country. This was a groundbreaking analysis and the first of its kind concerning ordinances like these. Rob Briley and I have served on the advisory committee charged with the responsibility of drafting the regulations for this ordinance. We retained legal counsel to review and provide comments associated with the regulations. The comments were almost 3 times longer than the regulations themselves. However, without much fanfare, and in spite of our objections, this scoring ordinance marched forward under the direction of the previous administration. Through all these efforts, we have requested extensions and preached caution. Other cities have had problems implementing ordinances like this. I want to make clear, our members are not against energy conservation, but are concerned with this particular ordinance being costly, counterproductive, and not being an effective tool to lower energy costs. It is our position here at GBREB to delay its implementation and have a pilot program for a 1-year period. The city has actually recently contacted us asking us to educate our members. They lack the outreach necessary to do so, precisely why we've been preaching caution. The second law that we've talked to the mayor about is to review the rental registration and reinspection law, which mandates inspection of approximately 150,000 units of rental housing. This law was passed last year, and since its implementation, there have been numerous complaints from landlords, tenants, and elderly as the ordinance captured nursing homes and long-term care facilities. Other issues that we hope to address this year at the Government Affairs Committee level, we'll be spending time on the Bowmer Education Energy Bill, designed to capture some of the stockpile of utility service charge money and use it to educate the building managers on energy efficiency. And also the scrap metal bill and the bed bug bill, which currently sits in committee. I recognize that each division goals and challenges may differ. It is very important, however, that all our members stand together and support each other's causes, because it's only then that the strength and presence of GBREB will be felt. When opinions differ, I will work to build consensus. When legislation affects our members, we must find a way to play a useful role in shaping legislation with creative solution. I want to emphasize to this board and all its members that we have a critical role to play to promote the Greater Boston Real Estate Board and its brand. In addition to having our voices heard in the legislature, it is my intention to promote our members' business successes through the awards program of each division. This will promote and recognize each member's accomplishment through the real estate industry. We are very fortunate to live and work in a place like Massachusetts. Our economy is strong. In 2013, we saw the housing market come roaring back. We all remember difficult times in 2009 and 2010. The city is now in the middle of reinventing itself, with many businesses and people moving to the Innovation District in the Seaport area. These are exciting times for our members. Progress is happening. In the last 3 years, I've learned that almost 100 new businesses and over 2,000 jobs were created in that area. It is a perfect time for GBREB to be a strong and effective public advocate for the real estate companies and their professionals. I want to recognize and thank all of you tonight, and I also especially want to thank the staff at GBREB. Our organization is very fortunate to have our CEO, Greg Vassell, and I thank him for his superior leadership. He and his dedicated staff at GBREB work hard, from advocating for our members to education to all our events. As Greg always says, nobody is greater than the sum of all parts, and I think you get that right, Greg. In closing, I want to announce that this May 8th, we are planning a birthday celebration for Greater Boston Real Estate Board at the Boston Public Library. I'd like everyone to mark their calendars. This is just not a party. It's a party with a purpose, I want everyone to realize. This year, we will recognize our 125th by having all proceeds raised through the scholarship go directly to the Foundation Scholarship event. You will have a chance to meet with the student scholarship winners, their families, as well as a chance to network and reconnect with so many people in the real estate industry. Lastly, I want to recognize some of my family members who are here this evening. First, my lovely wife, Aunt Ellen. Standing next to her, my son, Michael. My other son, Brenton, and his fiance. And his better half, almost, Whitney Field, his fiance. Again, thanks for the GBREB staff for planning this event, and thank you all for attending. I hope to see you on May 8th at the Boston Public Library. It will be a night to remember. Thank you, and safe travels.